Tonight we have new details about electronic spying devices showing up in very suspicious places, including right near the White House. Let's bring in CNN's Brian Todd. Brian, what kind of threat do these listening devices pose, and do we have any idea who might be responsible for planting them?
Wolf, intelligence experts and members of Congress say they believe foreign intelligence agencies could be planning these devices. Now, this has real urgency tonight because President Trump, according to multiple sources, has been using his personal cell phone more and more often in recent weeks to contact outside advisors. One senior White House official telling CNN he's, quote, talking to all sorts of people on it. Tonight, new information suggests that those calls could be more vulnerable to being spied on. A new report from the Department of Homeland Security says there were signs that cell phone surveillance devices were detected as recently as last year, operating near the White House and other sensitive locations around Washington. The devices are called Stingrays, or International Mobile Subscriber Identity Catchers, and they're not only illegal for non-law enforcement usage in America, they're capable of gathering a lot of secret information.
The MC Catcher pretends that it's a cell phone tower, so your phone will connect to it, and it will collect things like the device number so it knows who you are, records of who you communicate with, and in some instances, even the contents of your communications.
The Department of Homeland Security isn't saying who it believes deployed the devices or even if they're still around. But members of Congress and analysts say they were likely planted by spies.
The only people that could do this and get away with it are people under diplomatic cover, which means foreign intelligence services. It could be China, it could be Russia.
Former CIA officer Bob Baer says there's also spy software called SS7, used all over Washington, which can listen in on cell phones and pick up even more content than Stingrays can.
I can take this phone or your phone, introduce malware into the phone, which then will bleed off over a phone line our conversations, room harmonics, conversation, people talking, texts, and emails.
Experts say all of this technology capable of intercepting calls is why they're concerned about reports that President Trump is using a personal mobile phone inside the White House. They say even if he isn't discussing top secret information, he could still be creating a security risk.
Whether it's him trying to get around John Kelly by using this cell phone, and someone could ask, well, what's Kelly going to think? And if he responds, well, it doesn't matter, he's at the Pentagon right now. That's not classified, but that can tell foreign intelligence agencies, the chief of staff of the White House is meeting with people at the Pentagon.
Baer says drastic measures might be needed to protect the president's conversations.
Look, the president is completely vulnerable to having his conversations listened to. I would take his phone away from him. There's no way to secure it.
Now, Democratic Senator Ron Wyden of the Intelligence Committee and other members of Congress have called on the Federal Communications Commission to investigate the use of those interception devices. So far, the FCC has resisted that, saying it has no particular evidence that the devices are being unlawfully used. Now, we've reached out to the White House, but they've not responded to the concerns over those surveillance devices or the concerns about President Trump using his personal cell phone so much.
Wolf? Brian, Senator Wyden and other Democrats are now putting more pressure on President Trump, specifically over his use of his personal mobile phone, right?
Right, Wolf. Today, Wyden and 3 other Democratic senators wrote a letter to the Director of National Intelligence's office requesting that a formal threat assessment to determine whether any sensitive information has been intercepted from President Trump's cell phone be made, and to determine whether any foreign adversaries might have used that information. He's getting a lot of pressure over that personal cell phone.
Yeah, pretty worrisome development indeed. Brian Todd, thank you very much.